for confirming. And today's session will go up with starting with the DevOps framework and the cloud. So basically, I'm having 4 years of experience on this DevOps, and my total experience is 4 years. And 4 years I worked with the DevOps technologies, DevOps framework and cloud technology. So I'm going with this session today. So let us start the first thing. So this is our today's agenda. DevOps introduction, workflow, and what are the DevOps tools we'll use in the market if you are going to work on any project on DevOps. So what are the tools you are going to use, and then automation, how the automation will be done. Those are things will be covered in that, and the cloud introduction related to the cloud computing, everything, and how DevOps related to cloud. So basically, DevOps and cloud are the most demand technologies in the market. So it is very, even outside, if you want to learn these things outside, they are charging very much actually. So this is the best time for you to concentrate on this seminar. If you want any, any workshop or anything you need to do hands on, that I will provide you that on later. So better be concentrate and ask the questions on this. Sorry, clear guys? Okay. So first I will go with DevOps. So what is DevOps? So basically I will ask one question, guys. Are you aware of this DevOps or cloud as just a basic things like any definitions? Anybody are aware of it?
No, sir.
No, right? Okay. Thank you. So basically, what is DevOps? DevOps follows agile methodology. So you know about waterfall model, right? So basically, this is opposite to the waterfall model. So which follows the agile methodologies. I will tell later what is agile that I will discuss in the later part. So DevOps is the combination of development and operations teams. So it is like development teams will be separate and operations team will be separate, and they both combine and work together. The development team will work on the development part, like coding, integrating those things, and the operations team deploy those code to the servers and monitoring. After deploying that, monitoring part will be taken care by the operations team. So that is what the process will be. So that is combined called as DevOps. And I am the DevOps engineer, where I need to develop the code, write the script, and even I need to deploy. And after deploying, I need to take care of monitor those applications after deploying. Because it is combined, I will be called as a DevOps engineer. But if you call Dev engineer, the Dev engineer will work on the development part. If you call the Ops engineer will work on the only operations part. For DevOps, they need to take care of those both. So DevOps process is meant to elaborate both the teams. So okay, if they both teams like development and operations team work together, so release of the feature or the release of the application will be very much faster, and they can do the automation. Everything in DevOps is related to automation. Automate the things and need to deploy. So okay, a few years back, before introducing this DevOps, there is a manual way of deploying the application. So they will deploy the application in a manual way, and that takes a lot of time. So DevOps introduced in the year 2009, and it's very much demanded into the market from 2013 to till now. It is it's a very hot technology, I can say that. So now it is every IT industry now adopting the DevOps culture instead of going to the manual way, because manual way is a very time-taking process to deploy. If we adopt for DevOps process, automation will be done, so everything will be easy, and you can release, you can give the feedback to the customer, release the application to the customer very easy. Please go on to the mute. Somebody.
Sir, you can mute all the people.
Yeah, no problem, sir. Because if they want to ask, even 1 or 2 are interacting, so that's why.
After half an hour, you can unmute them for any suggestions and questions.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, DevOps can automate the environment using the scripts. So DevOps is nothing but it's everything we need to automate the environment. Using the scripts, we need to automate the environment using the DevOps. So key work areas in DevOps, there are some key work areas. Key work areas are nothing but the workflow of the DevOps. How the workflow will be, for example, if you are if you are working on one particular application, for that particular application, what will be the workflow in the sense from end to end, what you are following, what are methods you are following. So these are the things we need to discuss in this slide. So workflow consists of agile, where DevOps follows the agile methodologies, and coordination of teams and work. As I told you, Dev and Ops team work together. So there comes the coordination of teams and teamwork, and automation. So DevOps is purely depends on automation. So automation comes into a picture like continuous integration, delivery, and deployment. These things I will discuss in the later automation in the later slides. And the faster feature release. Automation and faster. If you go for automation DevOps, then you can release feature in a very fast, rather than going in a manual way. So this is the just look at this diagram, guys. First we start with the plan, and then code, and then build. First plan with the the requirements you get from the client, and then code it, build the code, and then test the code, and then release the code, and then deploy into the server. So deploying part, the ops team will take care actually. So, and then after deploying the application, you need to operate those applications, not to go, not to check the issues, if there are any issues on the deployed application, and you need to monitor the application. So this is how the phases will start from end in DevOps platform. So guys, any doubts?
No, sir.
Guys, are you able to understand what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, somebody is responding. Okay. So look at this picture. If you got requirement from the client, and if that requirement is new, discuss with the architect. That means in DevOps we don't have any TL like tech leads. We have only the DevOps architects. So if the requirement is new, then we need to discuss with the architect, and he will give the plan and inputs according to the client requirement. So once the inputs are given by the architect, we need to start implementing the new feature. That may be employer. Many of the employees are working on the same feature, and if you got any doubts on the new feature, again we need to come back to the architect. But if we get a requirement from the client, but it is to modify the existing, which is already existing code. I mean, which you are already having the plan, and you need to modify the existing code. So that time you don't need to discuss. You don't need to go to the plan again. You can directly work out on the code by discussing with the architect. No need to go for the new plan. So this is about agile. This picture shows how the agile follows. So first thing we need to discuss with the architect. This is the first step. If you go for agile, then these things are required to be done. To speak with the architect, inputs to be taken, and then work needs to be done. This is how the DevOps flow was made previously. So you need to follow these things. So this is how the real scenario will be in the real time industry.
Hey, good. That's good.
Okay, and comparison of waterfall agile. And if you see that waterfall model, there will be a design phase, build phase, test phase, and deploy phase. If you go for design phase in the waterfall model, you guys may know that once we move to the front, upward, we can't come back and modify the previous phase again. We need to complete the first phase completely, and we need to move to the second phase. So this is the main drawback in the waterfall model. So that is why the IT industry is now looking for the agile, to follow agile methodologies. In the agile methodologies, we have a concept called sprint. Like in the waterfall, we have concept like milestone. In Agile, we have a concept called sprints. So sprint may be from 1 week to 4 weeks. It depends on the a team basically. So you will get one task and you need to complete the task in these 4 weeks within this sprint. And yeah, if you are not able to complete the particular task and you can put it in the sprint backlog. There is a concept called sprint backlog. For example, 4 weeks got completed and you are not able to complete that task. The second sprint starts again. Again, it starts from design, build, test, deploy. And the first task will go in the sprint backlog. And those who are able to work on those sprint backlog tasks, they can take it and work on it. So that is the flexibility provided in the sprint actually. So this is the this is the agile methods. So that is why agile methodologies are using in the IT industry as of now. You can go back anytime at any phase and you can work on it. You can work based on your requirements. But in the waterfall model, it will not be possible. You need to complete the first phase and second phase. So at that time only, you need to start the second phase. Otherwise, it will not be possible without completing the previous phase, and you can't come back. So I will take one example here. For example, if you take WhatsApp as an example, WhatsApp release a new feature. We don't know when they are updating the WhatsApp. Just they will put an updated version in the Play Store or the App Store, and we are downloading it, and we are getting the new feature, whatever it may be, the new feature like video call or double ticks, whatever it may be. So they follow the agile methodologies because we don't know when they are going to deploy the new feature, because they have not distracted the whole application and they have not taken any downtime. But the new feature, we got the new feature. So that is how it will be. No need to take any downtime of particular application. No need to spoil the whole application to add the feature. Go back and add the feature in the particular area which you want. So that is the flexibility provided by the agile methodologies. But waterfall model, we can't add those features. For example, if they want to add some feature using the waterfall model, they need to take downtime of the WhatsApp, and they need to add that new feature, and then they need to bring back with the new version. So that is how the DevOps follows the agile methodologies. And here DevOps will be design, build, test, deploy. Every sprint there will be design, build, test, deploy. So that is what here it is saying in the DevOps. Yeah, so guys, are you okay with my session? Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you, Shiradev. Yeah, thank you. Guys, at least you may ask a few questions to me if you are having any questions, like from these slides, from first slide to this slide.
Sir, once explain what does mean by cloud platform, and what is AWS, and what is DevOps, and what is the importance of DevOps in the market. So we get an idea to learn about DevOps and what is the importance of DevOps.
Yeah, so this is what I am saying, sir. DevOps. Before previous, and the next slides, I will come up with the cloud. So this is what I am saying, DevOps, right? So this is all about DevOps only, right? What is DevOps? I already told it here. DevOps is basically the combination of development teams, and operations teams. This is what I told. And useful of DevOps is like everything will be automated. For example, if you want to deploy an application, you go with the automated way. You need to write the scripts to make the DevOps to make the application automated. But if you go for a traditional IT model, it will take a lot of time to deploy an application, because they need to test, they need to write the code again, they need to go back. There is no automated way, right? But in the DevOps, automation is possible. So that is why DevOps is very famous to release the application very faster. Dev is development and Ops is operations. Development team develops the code, as I explained it here. Plan, code, build, test comes under the dev. Development teams will take care of the planning, coding, building the code, and testing the code. From release and deploy, operate, and monitor takes care by the operations team. But these two both combinedly work together. But previously, before introducing the DevOps into the IT market, we don't have concept like combination of development team and operations team. Development team needs to 2009 before development team develops the code, and that code needs to be passed to the QA team, that is nothing but the testing team. And until and unless testing team completes the quality of the test, I mean the completing the test for that particular code, development team needs to sit idle. So that means they are wasting the time, they are wasting the money. So that's why this DevOps concept came into the picture. Now these both combinedly work together, and development team pass the code to the ops, and development team here don't sit idle. They will work on the other part of the feature, and the ops team will continue their testing part. And again, they will send back to the dev team if there are any issues. And our development team will modify that code and send back to the ops team again. So this is how the process will go on. There will be no idle sitting, there will be no time management, there will be no other higher infrastructure. So this is why the DevOps is very famous, and this is what the use of DevOps. DevOps is nothing but the automation. Everything is automation. So I think I have answered right for your question.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, I had a small doubt, sir, regarding this.
Go ahead.
Actually, I work on Django for backend development, sir. And from I'm facing problems in production environment,
Okay.
sir. So my code is working in my system, and when I'm deploying it, sir, I'm facing some problems, like when multiple users log in, goes to my site, it is being hanged, sir. So
Okay, I got your point. Okay, whenever more users are trying to access your code, I mean your is that application? Which application?
Web applications.
Okay, which type of web application? Like it's e-commerce or what it is?
It's a normal CRUD-based applications.
Okay. If many users are trying to access this, they are not able to access it, right? It's going down.
Yeah, it's going down, sir. Server is going down.
In which server you have deployed?
Actually, I used Heroku, sir. It's a free hosting platform for my.
Yeah. Because you have gone for free, right? So that's the reason. Because for the free they won't provide scalability. Here we have a concept called scalability. Scalability in the sense, I will tell you a simple example. Like if you take a e-commerce application like Amazon or Flipkart or Diwali or Sankranti or any festival, they put some offers, right?
Yes.
When they put that offers, we are ready to buy at that spot. At the 12, if they are trying to put at 12 o'clock and we are ready at 11 o'clock, from 11 o'clock onwards, we are hitting the website, right? This is what we are doing, but it won't go down because they hosted that application in AWS or any cloud, and the scalability will be there. Scalability is nothing but whenever the users come, whenever the users hit the URL, like hundreds of URLs. So it basically by default it will scale the servers automatically on the fly. Whenever the users slow down, automatically the servers come down because that is not required. More servers are not required. Whenever the users will be more, so it automatically rings up the servers. So this is a concept called scalability. For Heroku, you are saying it's a free source tool. They won't provide the scalability concept.
Sir, but we can do it with Docker. Actually, I tried it with Docker, sir. But I wrote the .yml file and I pasted all my requirements. But it is becoming very complex for basic applications.
Yeah, got your point. You have used a Docker file, right, for this application. Where you have deployed that using Kubernetes or orchestration tool? Which one you have used? Kubernetes, Docker Swarm, or EKS in Amazon AWS?
Actually, I've used it Kubernetes, sir.
Kubernetes on-prem?
Yes, sir. Okay. But what happened is it is a basic application. It's a normal MBT application, MBT based application, and it is becoming very complex even for me to write all these things. And even in my local computer, I should run it in Docker every time I used it. So I don't think if I got a way to my bring my site into production with a faster thing.
Okay, got your point. You have you done with the Docker file? Have you written a Docker file?
Yeah, I've written Docker files, sir, but I don't want to use Docker because it is becoming very complex. I want
It won't
another way.
become complex actually. Containerization. You are talking about the
Yes, sir.
containerization.
Container.
Yeah, containerization is the good concept. Netflix and Amazon, everything is using containerization. Yeah, because in containerization we have a concept called load balancer. So the load balancer will be taken care of everything. See, if you have written a Docker file for your application, whatever you are going, whatever application you're deploying, if you write the Docker file application, only one time it will be. The work will be one time. You can write one time Docker file and you can push that application to the Kubernetes, Kubernetes dashboard,
yes.
right? From
Yes.
there you can access what the issue you are facing there.
Like whenever in production it is okay, sir, one time I will do, but whenever I want to test it in my local computer, sir, like every time when I want to start the server, I should start the server in my thing and in my local in my backend application, and again I should start in my Docker application.
Okay, you are saying that again you need to give the Docker command. This is what you are saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, that no. Once you deploy the application container to the Kubernetes, you can use it daily. Why again you need to build? See, once you deployed an application to the container Kubernetes, it is running there. The pod is running, right?
Yes, sir. But I didn't host it in Kubernetes when I'm working on it, sir.
Okay, got you.
After I completed my website, I hosted it in, I deployed it in Kubernetes. But before that, I should run every time 2 times, 3 times.
If you go with Docker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you need to run because you didn't deploy the application in the Kubernetes. If you deploy, then it's a one-time work. You don't need to again build the Docker file. If you did not deploy, you need to again build the Docker file. Again, you need to build the Docker file.
Yes,
see, once you, for example, take the MySQL database, not MySQL database, any application like MySQL database. You did not deploy the MySQL database into the Kubernetes. Docker file is there. MySQL database Docker file is there. It is running perfectly fine in the local machine. But you didn't deploy it into the Kubernetes. You shut down your computer and you came again. Again, you need to run the Docker file to run the container in the local machine. Yes. If you deploy that in the Kubernetes, it will become as a deployment at the pod. Then even if you log off your computer as anything, if you come back again, then Kubernetes pod will be running. The dashboard is running, right?
Yes, sir.
So it will be running. You can access the application easily.
Yeah.
Got my point?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Did I answer perfectly, or you were having many questions?
No, sir. I just want to know any alternative.
Alternative method you need to deploy, and one more alternative method is use AWS EKS. You know the
AWS.
EKS.
No, sir, I didn't.
This is nothing but a not on-prem Kubernetes, which is provided by the cloud EKS. It's a container orchestration only. See, the thing is, it will be very easy if you use the AWS EKS. You can directly deploy there. You can make the cluster ready, and you can deploy the application using the commands.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you go for Docker in your local machine, you need to do the Docker build command, the Docker run command, and again you need to enter into the container.
Yes.
So every time you need to do.
Yeah. Even it is very difficult for us to list out all the requirements for our file, sir. Sometimes we need some bootstrap applications to install. So every time we should write in. It's it is becoming very difficult to maintain all.
So you are saying that, for example, you have written one Docker file, and again you have some requirements. You are saying that again you need to open the Docker file. Right.
Yes.
No, this is not the concept. Actually, you don't follow this way. See, for example, one Docker file is completed. Writing of one Docker file is completed. That is called as first layer. Don't disturb that.
Okay.
Come up with second Docker file.
Oh.
Okay. For example, Java, Maven, Gradle, you have installed in the first Docker file. Okay. These three are installed in the first Docker file. It is running fine. And the next thing is you want MySQL database also to work on it, and any other tools.
Yes.
Okay, you need to deploy. You need to run it in the container. What you are saying is, Sir, these requirements also I need to write in the first Docker file. So every time I am going and writing is very difficult. This is what you are saying, right?
Yes, sir.
So don't touch the first file. Go with the one more file
Okay.
and write from. You have first line called from, right?
Yes, sir.
From Node.js, from.
From
Whatever the name you have given in the first file, take the from that file name, from that file name. That means,
Sir,
and write the requirements and write the other requirements that you want in that particular second Docker file and write as from. That means it is taking the previous requirements from that base file along with this new
new
requirements.
file. Okay.
You got my point?
Yes, sir.
So no need to disturb the first file again and again and again. So this is called the layering concept. You are adding layers. In the first in the first Docker file, you install Java, Gradle, Maven. In the second Docker file, MySQL database along with that, because you have written as from.
Yes.
Taking from the base file. And again, third requirement you got. No need to disturb these two files. Again, write the from
Again.
and this from that file.
Okay.
So these all things will come up again.
sir,
You got, yeah.
shall we move on to the concept and talk about all this at the end of the session?
Sure, sir. Because he's having some questions, right? At least he's asking. So I need to clarify it, right? Okay. Yeah, move to the next step. So this is about the DevOps tools. So what the DevOps tools we are going to use in this to automate the DevOps. So DevOps follows end-to-end automation to release and deploy an application into the production. So to deploy an application into the production, we need to follow end-to-end automation for everything from plan to from code design to the till the end of the production. We need to follow the automation to release and to deploy an application using the script. To automate the application, DevOps tools are required. So to deploy, we are speaking like to deploy, automate. So to automate this, we have the various DevOps tools. So those DevOps tools we need to integrate, and we need to do the CI/CD pipeline is nothing but the continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline. Okay, I will tell about that in the later part. So this is, you have already seen it. So see this, the second one. So for the code plan and then for the code we have tools like Git, Jira, Eclipse. And for build perfect, to build that, we have Maven, Gradle, and one more thing which is not visible. Okay, and the test is for Selenium, JUnit, and for release Jenkins, Bamboo. So these are the tools actually. These are the tools for particular phases which we are using. For the code, those particular tool build these particular tools, test and release. And for to deploy the application, we need to use those tools like Puppet, Chef, or Ansible. And for to operate operation type tools will be there. And to monitor after deploying the application, we need to monitor whether how the logs will be and how alerts. There will be a concept called alerts in this DevOps platform. So for that, we need to check Nagios, Splunk, or New Relic. So these are the tools, and we need to integrate tools in the different stages. So Git to be integrated with Maven. So that is how the concept is like. We need to take the one particular tool and you need to integrate them for automate the application from end to end to deploy it in a smooth way. So how the automation is done? Continuous integration, continuous testing, deployment, delivery, and deployment. Okay. See this figure. So Jenkins is the continuous integration server. So we speak about the CI/CD. So CI is nothing but the continuous integration. So that continuous integration server is nothing but it will take the code and it will take your code and it will build the code application code for you, and it will give the var file which is used to deploy. And the version control system is nothing but Git. For example, if 10 to 20 developers are working in particular project, and they are developing on a particular, and they are working on a particular code, their code is to be deployed onto the Git, which is a version control system. You can store code or you can store files or whatever it may be. You need to store those files in the Git, and from the Git you need to take it to the Jenkins and you need to build the application. How it will take the code to the Jenkins? There will be a concept called integration. You need to integrate these tools. So whenever your code fetch pushed to the Git, it automatically takes, and Jenkins tool will build that code. That is nothing but the continuous integration. So continuously it is taking the code whenever you have pushed to the Git, and integration is already happened, and it is building the code. So this is how the continuous integration happens. So this Jenkins is called a continuous integration tool. Not only the Jenkins, there are many tools, but Jenkins is the most popular tool, which will be very friendly user. See, what is continuous integration? Say is the continuous practice of automating of code changes from multiple contributors in a single software project. As I told you, many developers, like multiple developers, are working, so they deploy the code into they push the code into the Git, and then integration will happen. Every integration is verified by automated build. Yeah, automatically it will take the code and it will build in Jenkins. So as I told you, continuous integration testing. So for the continuous testing, after taking the code and building the Jenkins, the next concept is continuous testing. Again, we are using the Jenkins only. Then now testing for like Selenium or JUnit, you need to write the test cases for the continuous testing to test the code, and that will be integrated with the Jenkins in the same way like with the Git. Continuous integration at every DevOps involves testing the software at every stage to get the quality of software at the end. Okay, and continuous delivery. So continuous delivery is like we have a concept called continuous delivery and continuous deployment. So continuous delivery, there will be a manual step. When your product is ready, your war file is ready, and you don't want to deploy it to the production right now. You need to wait for some time, and you need to at later part you need to deploy an application. So you continuous delivery provides that concept. Whenever you are ready, you can do manual triggering to deploy to the production environment. So that is called with Jenkins, and continuous delivery integration tool is IBM Urban Code Deploy is the continuous delivery tool which I have used in the market. As of now, this is the only, and this is the one famous tool IBM Urban uses for continuous delivery. And continuous deployment now. See, continuous deployment also, it follows the same thing. But the thing is, there will be no manual step in the continuous deployment. But in the continuous delivery, there will be a manual step. We need to click on that to deliver to the production, to deploy to the production. But in the in the continuous deployment, it directly, after testing, it directly goes into the production server without any manual intervention. So your application is run through automated workflow. Every change that passes automated test is deployed. After the testing is done, it will automatically goes to the production. So now a difference between delivery and deployment. With continuous delivery, your software is always release ready. So the final product is manual step, as I told you. So your product is ready, and now you need to click on it. Yes, I am ready. Deploy. Please deploy to the production. Then it will deploy. Any updated working version of the application is automatically pushed to the production for continuous deployment. So in DevOps, everything is like I'm speaking about the continuous integration, continuous testing, delivery, and continuous deployment. This means you need to create integration for every tool from end to end. Continuous integration tool, continuous testing tool, continuous delivery tool, and continuous deployment. You need to integrate all these tools. Whenever the code is pushed to the Git, it automatically fetch to the Jenkins, and it will run the code, and then it will go for continuous testing. You need to write the test cases using the Selenium or JUnit, and it will go for the deployment or the delivery. So here the continuous stages, continuously it is happening to build the code. Even if you release the new code, that will happen, that will build it continuously. But before DevOps introduction to the market, there is no such a concept like this, like continuous. So that is why DevOps became very famous. And if you go for continuous, then the feature will be released very fastly into the market. So that is how the DevOps strategies follows. See the difference. Continuous delivery. push the code, unit tests, integration tests, acceptance test. This comes under the testing phase, and then see the delivery, manual deploy to production, manual trigger will be there. And in continuous deployment, same thing happens, like push code, unit tests, integration tests, acceptance tests, and deploy to production automatically. There it is mentioned as auto, that means automatically. And these, how these phases will work automatically means you need to write the script for that. That is nothing but a CI/CD pipeline. The script is nothing but the you need to write one file. That file is nothing but a Jenkins file, and that will be called as a pipeline. First stage, second stage, third stage, stages will be mentioned like that. So it will be that pipeline stages. Okay, so guys, any doubt? Hello, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. You got this concept, right? So this all process till the deployment will be done using the CI/CD pipeline. It's already discussed with you. Okay, now here, just 1 second. See, so how the now previously we have seen Git 1 second. Continuous deployment, this part for continuous delivery with Jenkins. So the whole thing will be looks like this. The Jenkins is the main thing, which is a continuous integration server, which is used to integrate all these tools to take the code with the build tool. We are using Maven is a build tool for Java based application. Version control which is Git used to store the code. We can call it as version control system or the source code management system. And the continuous monitoring Nagios, and the continuous testing Selenium, configuration management Puppet, continuous deployment using Ansible. There are many tools, but I mentioned some few tools which is famous in the market. So everything is integrated with the Jenkins here. So it will be the continuous process. When the code fetched into the Git, automatically takes and build in the Jenkins and goes to the next step, and goes to the next step continuous in testing, goes to the next step deployment, delivery or the deployment. So this is how the concept will be. So we have completed this DevOps actually till here. So any doubts on this DevOps part?